Hail, friends. Welcome to another Friday stream. We are doing something just a little different tonight. We are not immediately playing video games, at the very least. Instead, we've got a very important guest with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like everybody to give a quick round of applause for Sir Author Timo Burnham. How are you doing, good sir?
Doing pretty good. I'm a little tired from work, but not too bad.
I feel that. Even as an otter, I have to work, unfortunately. It's not a pleasant experience. It's not utterly fantastic in the very least, but unfortunately, it is a necessity, to say the least.
Yep, they got you stuck in the underwater otter mines.
I know. Well, technically I am a lord, but it has its unfortunate quirks to it all the same. But enough about me. We are here about you, sir, and your brand new book. Let me go ahead and hop over to a special panel we have for tonight as I slowly turn down the lovely theme song music. There we go. And I have some artwork here for your latest book. That is Destiny's End. So I'm super excited about this. I just started checking this out about a few days ago, actually. I haven't gotten too far into the book myself, but yeah, it's precisely this book that we have you on for tonight. So tell me, Timo, whenever you thought of the Silver Empire series, am I getting that right?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, what would you say is kind of like the first scene or image that kind of came to your mind whenever you were sort of like either you had the idea or like before you were like, holy shit, I want to make a book?
Um, hmm. It's kind of a hard question because it's been quite a few years now. Um,
I do apologize if I'm asking all the hard questions right up front.
yeah, well, I can tell you that like some of the original or a lot of the original inspirations were like anime slash manga. Just different things that I was watching. Um, so like some of the obvious ones I think are uh Demon Slayer, Naruto to some extent. Um I think even JJK, even though JJK is like urban fantasy.
So when you say JJK, you mean Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen, yeah.
Okay, cool. I was wanting to make sure I got that right.
Um yeah. And then the one that I usually use for kind of like marketing it or pitching it is Avatar: The Last Airbender, since that's one that everyone really likes and immediately like and sort of put together what the book might be kind of like.
Yeah, I definitely get a few Avatar: The Last Airbender vibes whenever I'm reading it. I must say, though, there is a little bit more, I guess you could say, edge to this over Avatar, even though Avatar has a little bit itself. Could you kind of tell us a bit more about kind of like what the Silver Empire series, particularly Destiny's End, what it's all about?
Yeah, it's kind of a coming of age story. It's a coming of age story for like our most main character. Um the trilogy as a whole, that is. Destiny's End is the climax slash finale. It's kind of, if you are familiar with the structure of the original Star Wars trilogy, where you have like the first film is sort of your introduction, and they fight the bad guys, and they have like a victory, but it's not like a final victory. And then the second book, the bad guys come back, and the good guys are left on the back foot. I guess we'll just put it that way. And then the third book is the kind of the final big huge battle with everyone. And well, I won't say how it ends, but that's what Destiny's End is. It's the Return of the Jedi, where you have everyone, good guy and bad guy, finally showing up, and there's big battle with lots of different characters, and then something happens at the end.
Heck yeah. Yeah, and what I've read so far, I do kind of get a Return of the Jedi vibe from it as well. For everybody who's just joining us, let's see. We have Wrangler in the chat. He's saying a whole lot of hola. Hello, Wrangler. He's also saying Timo's volume is a little low compared to Otter's. I don't know if that's a problem on your side, Timo, or if I might need to up my volume a little bit. Let me see if I can do that ever so quickly. All right, try speaking now, Timo. Hopefully that will have fixed it a little bit.
Hello, hello, hello.
Okay, hopefully that did it. Let us know if there's any more tech issues like that. From what I'm seeing on my side, he's coming through fine. Squishy Banana also joins us in the chat. He says, hello. Hail, Squishy Banana. Glad to have you with us. Yeah, but
She,
yeah, like overall, I've really enjoyed the story so far, just with Ryu and Zosh and company. Uh, Kind of like starting off on a very gritty note, I'd have to say. Like that was one thing that actually was kind of like an oh shit moment whenever I first started reading. I was expecting something a little along the lines of Avatar: The Last Airbender, but the I guess you could say the inciting incident for Ryu's journey is a little extreme to say the least.
yeah, yeah, it definitely is. It's probably the most incitingest of incidents I've ever written.
Yeah, one thing it also kind of reminds me of now that you mentioned Demon Slayer, it's actually I mean, like there's some differences of course, but it does kind of remind me a little bit of Demon Slayer at the same time with just kind of like where it's like tragedy but that leads into an honest adventure at the same time. And I got to say the world building and everything is really intriguing as well. Like it seems like you've taken inspiration from a few different like mythological sources, but maybe I'm kind of like just drawing a blank with some of the influences you've drawn on. It's a very unique blend, I gotta say.
Yeah, I think probably it kind of feels like that because I'm a Westerner and I've been raised in a Western culture, but I'm kind of trying to do sort of an Eastern feeling story. But of course, as the author, your like your kind of view on the world and your influences stuff bleed into your story. So there's things that I try to make kind of feel more Eastern, but I think a lot of it probably still feels Western, and so maybe that's why you get that feeling of it being a mixture.
Yeah, and I love whenever there's kind of like a blend like that. I'll use an example both from East and West. Berserk is kind of like the East being inspired by the West, whereas Samurai Jack is the West being inspired by the East. I think it's so cool whenever that kind of like unique mixing of different cultures and values kind of like creates something different, you know? Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, yeah. I think the kind of magic system and how like the magic works in the world is a lot more. It's inspired by like the Eastern cultivation type of stories, but then the morality is super Western because pretty much all of like cultivation novels, the characters are like extremely selfish, and it is very common in each Eastern cultivation for the main character to like murder people just to get something he wants, and that's seen as just like that's just what he does, and it's not like he's not seen as a villain because he murders people. He's
Yeah,
just seen as like he's like getting it done basically. And so the morality is like very different. Um, Whereas here it is clearly like a Western morality. Whereas like to be good, you do have to sometimes kill people because there's bad people, but killing itself is not good. So
Right. And I see that a lot in the revenge stories that are usually brought. And I'll say this just as a not so humble otter myself. I love me a good revenge story. Um, I think it can be rather cathartic. Of course, I don't think every story needs to be that way, but at the same time, like I like that you're kind of working a little bit outside of the box. Oh, 1 second. You just reminded me. Let's go ahead and pull up the map for your world up here. You have a lovely little map. I think it was Neutron Bore who did this. Am I right?
yep,
Yeah, look at that.
yeah, he
I
took
love me a good map.
my badly drawn. I don't remember what I did it. I think it was incarnate was what I used.
If it
A
makes you
badly
feel
drawn
any better, I use
map,
Incarnate all the time.
and then he took that reference and he made that you're looking at.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, like I use Incarnate all the time. So for me, like I don't think there's any shame in that at all. But yeah, I love
Yeah,
how
I mean, I'm
Neutron
not
Bore.
ashamed. I just couldn't remember. I was trying to remember what exactly I used,
Yeah,
but yeah, I just use it. It's just for myself for reference because it. I need a lot of stories. You need to keep track of where everybody is and like kind of roughly at least how far things are from each other.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see. I
And
I also
there is marching in these books. Kind of the most of it is actually happens in Destiny's End of people marching to different places. So I kind of have to have a pretty good idea of where things are.
Yeah, I know one aspect about the Silver Empire books is I'll I'm somewhat reminded a little bit of Brandon Sanderson's writing, just a little bit, and not much, but like one thing that it kind of I'm kind of reminded of it is particularly in how you do the world, some of the world building, some of the power mechanics, though it's not quite as technical as his, but I'll still kind of get that feeling every now and again. But I would I also kind of want to ask this is what would you say is a part of these books that just kind of like ended up surprising you as you were writing it? Because there's like storytelling is a long, complicated, and oftentimes spontaneous process, and things tend to redirect over time. I was kind of curious how, just a little bit about how that went for you, like maybe with the story, the characters. Was there something that surprised you whenever you were writing it?
Um, mm, I don't, I might not use the word surprised, but I mean there were some things that changed. Um, there's a couple. They're kind of more like secondary plots that I kind of adjusted because I kind of felt like they were kind of what I had originally planned for them. Like it just wasn't going to work very well. And so if I tried to write them in anyway, I felt like it was going to end up just kind of being this kind of just meh side or subplot that basically made the book longer, but didn't make it like a lot more exciting or interesting. And so I more or less I didn't cut them out. I like shrunk them down um into uh kind of an off-screen resolution, I guess.
Yeah,
Um so cuz you can't just like have certain things happen and then just be like, "Well, forget about that from now on."
some things
So
end
you
up
still
on the cutting room floor.
yeah. Um I think maybe I guess the one thing that's the closest to like a surprise, which is not wasn't exactly a surprise, but I think Hala ended up being more of a main character than I'd originally planned. She was meant to be like a secondary, like a kind of important secondary character, but she becomes basically like the like dual main character by book 3 with Ryu. Ryu and Kala are the two main characters throughout book 3. Um, Zash is still a really important character, but he has like way less screen time in book 3, even though he does like super important things in book 3. The bulk of the screen time is split between Ryu and Kala.
Yeah, and I've got some of the artwork that you had commissioned for Kala on screen now. And yeah, that is one thing I kind of noticed about Kala is that she started out in book 1 as sort of a side character, but as I'm reading your second book, Destiny Within, I noticed that she started getting a larger role, and I think it went a lot farther than just the neuron activation here with the midriff.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole like tomboy abs thing has kind of become like my marketing. I don't know what you call it. My my go-to marketing strategy, I guess.
The
But
brand.
yeah, it's the brand. But if you actually read the stories, there's quite a bit more to Kala than tomboy abs.
Yeah. Kala gets a good amount of development in the story. Yeah, that's putting it lightly, I know. And from what I've read so far, book 3, she's definitely like she is definitely about on the same level as Ryu and Zosh from what I got from it. Anyway, let's see. All right. I was kind of curious about this though, because there is a lot of kind of like this is one of those stories that feels very sincere whenever I'm reading it. I was kind of curious. Would you say that there was like, was there kind of like any real life experiences or any like moments from your own life that kind of inspired like a certain character or a chapter or a certain scene? Was there anything kind of like that?
I mean, yeah, like real life stuff inspires like all kinds of things. I think a lot of the inspiration is kind of hard to pin down because it's like little bits. Like, you might have an experience and the experience makes you feel like a certain way, and then maybe you kind of take that feeling into like a scene, even though like the scene in the book has nothing to do with like your real life experience that originally caused that emotion. But you kind of understand like it's the same, they would feel the same way, the kind of way the way that I felt when I had whatever experience is like this is how the characters would feel in this particular scene. So
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any like one to one. Um
Well, sometimes it's just the vibe that comes through.
yeah, I mean, I think I guess Quan probably, I try not to like too heavily put my own philosophy, like my own personal philosophy into characters, but I think Juan is definitely the closest to that with some of his things that he tells Ryu throughout the book, this book 3. But he was also just fun to write because he's a little bit of that like anime kind of over the top character, although I don't think he's that over the top if you compare him to anime characters. But he's closer to that, I would say, than any other character in the
Yeah,
book.
I would almost say he's like none of the so your your storytelling feels anime in a lot of ways, but I wouldn't say there's a lot of the over the top quirks you see in a lot of like different anime series. Like it may be anime, but it's far from like animu or anything like that. To put it rather bluntly, um, was there was there kind of like a concrete sort of like decision making going in, like a certain philosophy while writing, just kind of like the storyline, or was it just like I have this character, I have this world, I just want to keep going with it?
Um, I mean, I think I definitely wanted to try to have a story where the action could feel very anime like to the reader. Now, of course, when you're doing it on prose, there's a lot of imagination, so not every reader is going to maybe imagine it quite the same way. But I do try to write the action scenes so that it's easier to sort of imagine them as these kind of like crazy, a little bit over the top, like anime fights.
Yeah,
Um,
and I
but
definitely get that feeling.
yeah, and book three definitely I tried. It has like the craziest fights, and so I tried kind of the hardest with this book three to really sell some of these big fights and big moments as being kind of these huge spectacle things. Um, but with the characters, like especially when you're like you're viewing things from Ryu's perspective and stuff, I try really hard to make that as believable as possible, like how it feels, you know, to like be Ryu. Um, let's to avoid spoilers, I'll just say that he's not doing well at the beginning of the third book, and kind of like what that's like from his perspective. Um,
Yeah, it's putting
and
it
like
just a little
physically how
lightly.
it feels, like emotionally how it feels, and you you try to kind of put yourself in the character's shoes as much as you can and be like, what would it really feel like to do this? And then you kind of try to distill that down into something that is believable without like taking pages and pages and pages to describe stuff because that would be boring.
Yeah. So I'm also curious about this because I I'm sure there's been kind of like you mentioned, stuff had to be reduced and stuff like that as far as the as like different plot elements. I'm kind of curious, like try and walk us through kind of like your like one of your messier writing days for this book. Like is there an example you'd like to give of kind of like what went wrong? How did you fix it? Were there any other kind of like twists along the way?
Um, I mean, honestly, for Destiny's End, it's probably the easiest book I've written. Like when I had to go back through and edit it after my first draft, I didn't add any new scenes in. I took one scene and made it long enough that I had to split it into two chapters, but I didn't actually like write a new scene.
Uh,
Maybe just because I planned a lot of it from the beginning, and the book three, it's the last book, so we're just wrapping everything up, and it was just like I kind of knew all the pieces that we were gonna have, so I wasn't struggling. All of the like trimming stuff down that happened before I started writing the first draft, and that happened when I was planning it. So
Yeah, you've had like two books of build up at this point, so I imagine. Would you say that Destiny's End is the conclusion to this arc, or is there going to be more? Do you?
yep, it is the conclusion.
Oh, very nice.
You will you will understand by the end.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to read
Oh,
more of it
no
for sure.
spoilers.
Yeah. All right. Was there also a moment kind of like while editing because sounded like editing wasn't too much of a hassle with this one. Was there a moment where I know this can be a problem with quite a few of us writers is was there a moment where you're like, okay, the book's done enough. Time to send it off to like beta readers, have an editor look over it, get more like technical advice or plot structure advice. Was there a moment where you're kind of like, yeah, it's good. It's good enough. Let's go on to the next step.
Um, I mean, yeah, I think pretty much after I did my first revision, I was already pretty happy with it. And that's unusual for me because usually I write the first draft and then I do the first revision, and at that point the book is usually like okay. Um and then you get your advice you get other people to look at it and you get their feedback. And for me, usually I don't have a great idea of like how good it is until I get some feedback and kind of see what people are thinking. But with Destiny's End, even when I finished the first draft and I knew that there's a couple things that I needed to fix, even then I was pretty satisfied with what it was. And then after I did the first draft, I was like, this is actually pretty good already.
So for
And
your
then
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that after that it was just um I did more editing, but it was mostly just like small stuff like line editing, a little bit of like continuity stuff like fixing mistakes and um couple things. There's a few things like I forgot about like how certain people's powers worked that I had to tweak. But the plot itself was like pretty good from like pretty early on.
Would you say that you got any kind of like unexpected reactions either from your editor or beta readers while kind of like reading through this?
Uh Unexpected because I felt like it was pretty good and then people seemed to also think it was pretty good. So it was expected, I guess.
Hey, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you think your book is good and your all of your beta readers, your editor is going like, "Hey, this is pretty good. I think you're onto something pretty nice there."
Yeah. Yeah, I was joking. I was joking with my mom who'd read it early, and I was like, man, this is the first book where I actually feel really good about it. Like before, it gets published, and then I was like, that kind of worries me because this is the first time. People have seem to have liked my other books, but I was always not really sure how they would do until I got reactions from readers. So I was like, I feel weird because I feel like I should be worried, but I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. I had a similar experience with my last book where I'm getting to the end of it. I'm like, yeah, I'm very confident. This is actually really worrying all of a sudden. So I know where you're coming
Yeah.
from. It's a little
You're like
concerning
you're like
sometimes.
worried that you got overconfident or you bought into your own hype or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that completely. It's a little nerve-wracking in its own way because you have like this gut instinct that what you have is like good and you're ready to put it out into the world, but you're like, hang on a second. Wait, something's a little different. I remember how much I've had to struggle before.
Yeah. I think it might partially just be with that book with this book specifically that um there's like um well, we'll just say there's some stuff that happens, most of it kind of towards the end that um like it's stuff that I've been planning like all along, and then kind of getting to write it out finally was like it was fun, but it was also like uh not sure what the word is. It was like satisfying, I guess you'd say.
Very
Um
cathartic.
and so yeah, a little bit cathartic just because like it's I had to wait years and years before I finally get to actually write the scenes that I'd been, thinking about. But also the scenes are very themselves are very epic. Um, and like so the process of actually getting to do that finally was just enjoyable. So that's probably a little bit of why I just had that feeling of like I liked the book and I thought it was good
Hey,
because
that's
I
awesome.
literally like personally liked it.
Yeah. And that's like one of the best feelings you can have is like whenever you're reading over it and you're like, "Hey, this is a book I like to read." That's like one of the best things you can really do. Be like, "Yeah, it has my own personal seal of approval." That's very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, there's I think probably my favorite scene in this book, and in the whole series actually too, is the scene with Zash very close to the end. And you'll know what I'm talking about when you get to it.
All right,
Um,
I'm hyped
but
now.
yeah, I remember that was a lot of fun when I finally got to actually write that scene because that's a scene that, you know, I've been thinking about like from very early on in the original planning of the series.
And I also want to let you know, Timo, that your book has quite literally saved my sanity because this
And
past
the
week,
Minotaur.
this last week, for all of you who don't know, I'm going to be reviewing a certain Minotaur book called Morning Glory Milking Farm. And oh boy, that is going to be a rant that is coming along here very soon. So going from that to Destiny's End, I gotta say it was a breath of fresh air to say the least. We're going from Minotaurs to uh, not so unpleasant midriff. I'll take that any day. Maybe that's just me. And martial arts, that's pretty cool too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Call is kind of not having a great time at the beginning of this book. Not a lot of time for midriff activities.
Yeah. Oh, what I've the chapters I read with Kala so far, she is going through a lot. I legitimately feel bad for her in the beginning. I'm like, this poor girl. See, wrangling.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think I actually remember kind of writing some of those early scenes for her, and I it's I don't usually like feel that much about my own writing when I'm like drafting the first draft, but there was a couple times I was like writing and I was like, man, I do feel bad for Kala.
Yeah, she goes through a lot, and by this point, like when I was starting to read through, what was it, Shadows Within, I did not like Kala all that much, but by the end, I'm like, damn it, Timo, you won me over. I like her now. She's pretty cool.
Yeah, I I don't know if I wanted you to hate her at the beginning, but I did kind of want her to feel a little antagonisticy, and then hopefully, you kind of get to know her better and you don't feel as much that way. But it's good to hear it seemed to work.
Yeah. Um, see, quick unrelated note. What would you say something that's unrelated to writing that kind of keeps you going through the whole grind of writing? Whether it's a better day or a worse day in writing, like what would you say is kind of like it takes you to your happy place whenever you're just trying to get your mind off of things and just processing ideas?
Well, getting my mind off of things and processing ideas are two. That definitely wouldn't be the same activity.
All right. I'm
Processing for
curious
processing
now.
ideas, for processing ideas, probably the best thing for me is like going on walks. Um, just like walking while thinking just works so much better than not walking while thinking or trying to think while sitting at your computer. That's really bad for thinking.
Yeah,
But yeah,
definitely.
like getting outside, getting away from like distractions, like internet distractions, and then just physical movement of your body
Just that
seems to
meditation while you're outside getting
help
some
the most
sunlight.
with thinking. Getting my mind off of it probably just like video games because it's kind of like the few activities where it is involved enough that I can't think about writing or what I need to write or stuff. It's like there's so much other stuff I do where you can still kind of think about writing, and so your brain always kind of like slips back into like whatever scene you're stuck on or uh, plot beat that you need to get figured out is or whatever.
Yeah, but awesome. We also have a chat by Wrangler message saying, "Are there any scenes that you had in mind that motivated you to keep going? And when you finally got to it, you realized it would no longer fit properly in the narrative and changed it completely."
Um, there weren't any scenes that were like I had a really solid idea of how they were gonna go. There was ideas for how certain things could develop that I realized I had to cut out because they weren't gonna fit in with the version I was telling. Um, but all the scenes that I had clearly planned out are they make it in. Yeah, I mean the way that I was like kind of laying out stuff as I wrote it was with those scenes kind of as the tent poles of the book in mind. So they were what I built the rest of the story around.
Would you say that you're more keen on outlining? Do you are you a bit more of a pantser, or are you kind of like a mix of both? I get a lot of different answers, so I am kind of curious.
I mean, I think the answer is everyone is a mix of both. Well, the real answer is everyone is a pantser because you have to make it up at some point. But
That is
I
true.
understand that what you're saying. I'm a lot more of an outliner slash planner. Um, I think I was a bit looser on the Silver Empire in terms of outlining because I did make an outline, but it was kind of more of like bullet points, and it was a lot more built around like the endings. And so like I would figure out, okay, this is exactly how I want the ending to be, and then okay, now I kind of got to work backwards to the beginning, and that's how I can figure out like how the whole book goes. And I don't know if you have noticed reading the series, but kind of I try to make each book's ending kind of be kind of a big sort of spectacle or big kind of finale ending thing.
Yeah, I love that. Honestly, I'm a big fan of. I don't want to call it a cliffhanger ending quite, even though book two kind of ended on a big cliffhanger. Uh, Mostly figuratively, a little literally as well. But I do love it whenever it's like you get to the ending of a chapter and it's like, darn it, I want to read the next one now. I was about to go to sleep like 5 minutes ago, but now I got to keep reading.
Yeah, yeah, the thriller style pacing.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And as far as I'm concerned, your books definitely hit the mark in that regard. Like whenever I'm reading, it's like, and I'll say this: I've read a fair amount of indie books, but when I'm reading Silver Empire, it's like it's like compared to a lot to some indie fiction out there where it's like getting through a chapter can feel a little bit like a slog sometimes. I've never gotten that with like Dawn of the Black Sun, Shadows Within, and so far with Destiny's End.
Yeah, I think a little bit of that is because I write my chapters shorter. So like I could uh probably like take some different scenes and combine them and make them longer chapters, but I usually just will break them up and just have short chapters. And I think that helps a little bit, and as a reader you feel like you're moving, like making more faster progress through um the book, you know, even though the total word count might be
Yeah.
the same as another book. um I just it kind of makes you feel like you're making progress quicker when you finish chapters sooner.
So I got to ask this question, and I'm like, this is a blunt question. It's going to be a little mean, but I try to make a point to ask this to every author. Is Ryu a self insert for yourself, or is he someone else entirely?
He's not, but he's also not someone else entirely.
Oh, I like this answer.
I think, to be honest, Ryu is a way like more virtuous character than I am in real life. Like he deals with a lot of really bad stuff and he does not give up. I don't know. I feel like I would give up way sooner than him.
I mean, Ryu does go through a lot, and he works harder than I do on a daily average basis. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, yeah, and especially in book three, he he has like a lot of uh working hard, I guess we'll put it that way, to do. Um, and he does it while also dealing with a kind of annoying mentor, slightly annoying mentor sometimes, slightly frustrating mentor.
Yeah. Um, so I know at least in book one, his mentor is Zosh. It kind of changes in book two, but I, I am kind of curious. Where did you get the idea for Zosh as a character? Because like, as far as I'm concerned, there's no other character in the series so far that just exudes Giga Chad energy. I'll go ahead and pull up the artwork for him again. I think it's very good. Was it uh, before I before I go any farther? I'm curious. Was it Neutron Bor who did the artwork for this as well?
Uh, yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. But yeah, like I'll go ahead and ask again because I was spitfiring there. What would you say kind of like gave you sort of like some of the idea or inspiration for like Zosh? Because he's one of my favorite characters, like for a fact.
Um, well, the very first inspiration uh, was just the general idea of that like wandering, like the wandering Ronin guy. You know that he's just walking along, he's got his hat on, you can't really see his face. You don't know anything about him and whatever. I think it was one of the first scenes back when it was at the very beginning of trying to come up with the story. So like a lot of stuff changed since then. But one of the first scenes was that scene where he fights the bandits in book one
Oh yeah,
when he saves Ryu.
I
Um,
love that whole scene. It's so good, man. It's really cathartic after after all that happened before it to see the bandits get their comeuppance for sure.
uh, yeah. Um, it's kind of like definitely like homage to kind of a lot of different uh stories that have uh been told. Um, I think book one kind of it's more like paying homage to a lot of like other stuff, and then kind of as we get more into book two and book three, it becomes its own story.
Yeah, like I now that you mention it, kind of like the I guess you could say Zosh is sort of like the lone wanderer type, sort of like going from place to place, always kind of lone wolfing
Y-
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think some of the reason his character came about was just because of like plot needs, because I needed a mentor or Ryu who was like very competent and also understood like the magic so he could teach him. Um and I really liked the like the idea of the lone wanderer. And then from there it was sort of coming up with like why would he have left the mountain sanctuary, um and um why is he like why does he show up where he shows up, and um what are his motivations and stuff that kind of came out uh of certain like needs for the plot. And then I guess other elements kind of developed a little bit more kind of naturally from there, like certain things about what he does in the as the story goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. I also want to say this. Uh, I think it might just be the lightning powers, but um, Zosh does remind me just a little bit of Raiden and how he uses the lightning powers and everything. I honestly think that's pretty cool. Just the fact that he's basically the mentor for Ryu. He's far from the god of thunder, but I still love the whole vibe that Zosh gives off between that and like kind of like you mentioned the lone wanderer. I don't know if you've seen like any like kind of like Yojimbo or Zatoichi, like some of the classic samurai films. But yeah, now that
Yeah,
you mention it, like gives off a lot of that energy.
yeah, yeah, and he's I think I kind of think of like him and Quan as being similar, except that Zash is like a little bit too serious, and Quan is like a little bit too silly, and that's like the major difference between them.
You get a nice
But
balance with that as well, though.
yeah, yeah. So it helps to distinguish them because I think like they're both. If you take away like that, the elements of their personality, they're they're both they both are mentors. They're both kind of on the same level in terms of strength, and uh, yeah. So I mean, they don't have the same powers, but no one has the same powers.
Yeah. So I am also curious, and this is going to be a bit more of an abstract question, but just kind of like if somebody on the street asked you about your book, if there was like one scene from your book you could just kind of like pluck out of it and be like, this kind of like embodies the entirety of my Silver Empire series, what would you say that is?
Hmm.
I know I'm asking the tough questions tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I if I wasn't like worried about spoilers, I would probably talk about one of the scenes kind of close to the end of book 3. Um because I think that is kind of, at least in my mind, like the inception of the whole story was like, could I tell like the prose version of an anime basically? And so kind of like one of the major elements of an anime is the huge crazy fights that involve crazy powerful people fighting each other.
Yeah, and we have some of those fights on screen now with some more of the great illustration work. I really like this whole scene that was illustrated right here. It's really cool. I love the action.
Yeah. I won't uh that it is kind of a spoiler because that happens close to the end of book 3, but um so I won't say much about it because I don't think it spoils that much if you don't have the context. Um but yeah, that is one of the fights that happens near the end of book 3, and you you probably can guess who the characters are, or at least have a good idea
I
of
have a
some of them.
working theory in my mind at present. Granted, I'm going to keep that open just in case there's any twists along the way. Yeah, but
I
awesome.
will not confirm or deny anything.
All right. Well, I see what games you're playing. Okay, I'll play along. Okay. All right. But yeah. So we talked kind of like about some of the story elements that had to be reduced and not necessarily cut away, but that either took a smaller or greater relevance. Um, do you see yourself adding more stories to this world? Do you think there's more to be told here?
I don't have any plans right now. I think I could. Um, I think it would be like a sequel, and it would probably happen quite a few years later on from the events of like this last book if I did it. But I definitely, yeah, there's definitely like stuff that I could, if I wanted to, write more about. Because there's like some big changes by the end of the third book for like the world and the people in it, which could potentially be, you know, interesting to write about. But like I said, I have nothing planned right now. The book I'm currently working on is a completely different world, different story. So
Yeah, I am kind of curious. What are you working on right now after this one? Are you willing to tell us a bit more, or is it kind of like a little secretive? Can I ask?
yeah, I mean it's not really that much of a secret. It's called Relic Hunters, and the kind of like core idea of it is you have these people, they're called Relic Hunters. And they're going out, well, this okay, so the setting is like humans are like this small population. They live in this place called Haven, which is this surrounded by mountains, so it's kind of like Switzerland or something. And this like little like landmass with a few towns and villages, and kind of the one area that isn't protected by mountains has a wall, and like right inside the wall is this sort of fortress city called the Hold. That's where the relic hunters live, but they go out into the world and they are searching for relics, which are these like long lost magical weapons or items from like an era like hundreds or I don't know if it'd be hundreds of thousands for a long time ago. We'll say that.
It's a very long time. We'll
Yeah,
just
long time ago.
yeah, in a galaxy far, far away. Wait, wrong series.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Um, and so relic hunters they signed a contract with the hold, and the contract basically says like you're an official hunter, relic hunter. You can go out and look for relics, but part of your contract is when the haven gets attacked by monsters, because there's these monsters that live out beyond haven. And every so often, um like certain events will happen that cause like all of the monsters to go like extra crazy, and they all attack like the wall at once. And so the relic hunters, they can go out, look for relics, and then any relics that they find they can keep and use, but they are kind of obligated to defend um humanity like during these times of crisis. um and uh so the the first book, you know, we're following a young relic hunter, um who is trying to his dad was kind of a big shot relic hunter, and then he was killed in the last like big attack, which was a few years ago in the story. um and so he's trying to live up to his dad's, because he inherited his dad's hunter contract, and he's trying to live up to his reputation, and he's um gets himself into a lot of crazy situations, partially because of his personality. Um, and Yeah, that's basically the setup. Um, oh, I can tell you that so the inciting incident happens right at the beginning of the story. He
Oh, really?
yeah, he gets attacked by a monster that is kind of way out of his league. He runs into a cave and a few series of events happens and he ends up finding this sword which is a relic um but it like well he uses it. It lets him easily defeat the big scary monster, but then it as soon as he like beats it he the sword causes like horrible pain. He almost passes out, and then he kind of slowly starts to realize that the sword has bound itself to him, and it there might be weird things going on with it, but he's not really sure. But he's like starting to like slowly realize it as kind of the course of the first book plays out. Um, and yeah, there's some other stuff that happens. I won't spoil that. It's like plot specific things that happen with it, but yeah, he finds this mysterious sword. It's a super powerful relic, but it also seems to like hurt and nearly kill him when he uses it. So he and it also is like bound to him, so he keeps it. He doesn't want to like sell it or get rid of it, but he doesn't want to use it because he's afraid of what it'll do if he uses it again. Um, and then he kind of continues on being a relic hunter, and a lot of other things happen. And it's kind of like a party, like D&D ish, or I think of it way more of like a MOBA. I don't know if you play many MOBAs or any MOBAs.
So I actually don't. I haven't played many MOBAs. But I maybe I'm misremembering, but I think it was in an X post you were kind of describing this sort of like I don't know if I want to say lit RPG, but kind of like a similar like similar tropes, I guess, where it's like kind of level based, maybe not quite as overt, but I mean, if it's sort of like D&D inspired, I'm gonna make that assumption. Is that accurate, or are there some like are there twists, or am I just way off the mark?
Um, it's not lit RPG in the sense that there's not explicit like stats because like wh- mostly when people think of lit RPG, they think of like your character literally has like a stat sheet of like strength, speed, dexterity, whatever the stats they put in, the author puts in.
Yeah.
So in this one, I don't literally have stats for them, but they do have um relic hunters do have levels, and they have magic that's called like essence, and so you can solidify your essence into like an internal core inside yourself, and that that makes you like basically like level 1, and then you can expand your core, and like each time you expand it you go up a level, so level 2, level 3, and the levels have actual names. So like you are a once you solidify your core, you're a tyro, which means novice, and then you expand it once, you become a ranger. You expand it again, you become a warden. You expand it again, you become, I think, a sentinel. And then you expand it again, you become a champion, and then I think it's paragon. I have to go look at my master guide to make sure that's right, but I think that's right. Anyways, so it's kind of like it's progression fantasy, but it isn't lit RPG. So there's not literal stats, but there is the clear progression.
Can I pay
Um,
for the level boost?
sorry, what?
Can I pay for the level boost? I want to level up quickly.
You cannot. You have to
Oh.
play.
Oh, come on. I want to be powerful, or I want him to be powerful way up, or like right off the bat.
I mean,
Okay, well,
he
fine.
kind of is because he finds a really what is essentially like a really high level item. I don't there aren't like levels to the items, but you could think of it that way. Like in D&D terms, it's like a super high level item. Um, um, but then it sort of has this really, really, really bad downside, which is it seems to like nearly kill him when he uses it. Um, and that's like kind of the big mystery, at least of the first half of the book, and then he kind of learns a bit more about it. But that's so the second part of the uh progression. So you have like the character's internal growth where they can expand their cores and they get stronger, and that basically like makes them it's just kind of a like total stat boost. So their bodies get more resilient, they get a little bit faster, a little bit stronger. But then they can find the relics, and relics are of different elemental domains, so like earth, wind, fire, water, and they each have different effects when you use them. So like for example, at the very beginning of the book, he has a wind ring, and wind relics give you basically like passive increased endurance, increased what's the word? I guess you'd say dexterity, like grace, like you move more smoothly, easier, you like or you're less clumsy.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like dexterity, kind of like what you said,
Yeah.
agility, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Um and then fire, it makes you like really fast, it makes you like more aggressive. Earth makes you stronger, makes you tougher. And then water, um water's main use is it's the healing element. So if you have like a water relic, you can heal your own wounds or you can heal someone else's wounds. Um and then there's two more elements, radiance and void, which are a lot more rare than the four uh terrestrial elements.
I don't know why
And
you saying like radiance and void. Like, does that mean you can get like void relics and just be like, I don't know, like a Lovecraftian entity? Can you be Cthulhu in this world?
um that might be a spoiler for like 3 or 4 books later.
Oh, come on. You're, you're you're really pulling me along here. I'm not getting the answers I need, okay? Wrangler also says in the chat, lit RPG now with lit microtransactions. Well, um, anyways, let's see. I did have another question for you. So, like, this is a hypothetical, but I also think it's something that all of us writers dream about. So, let's say you just penned up your next newest book, but somebody, like, say a Hollywood director approached you and said, "Hey, I love your book. I want to make a script out of it. Let's make a movie." Who would you like to see, like, kind of like in the director's chair behind that?
Hmm, not sure. I don't think a lot about like movie directors, so I don't know if I would have like a great answer for this.
No, that's fine.
Um,
Let's rephrase it. How about, let's say, who do you have any actors in mind that you would like to, that would be kind of like your dream role for like Ryu or Kala or Zosh?
hmm, I think that one's kind of hard too because I feel like you would want like Asian looking actors, and I can't think of a lot of Asian looking actors.
Hmm. Yeah.
Although Zash, I feel like whoever you'd want for Zash, you want him to look a little bit. I want it to look like kind of a little bit Asian and a little bit like European, kind of mixed together. So that's a very specific look. I don't know.
I'm sorry for hammering home the Raiden reference, but I don't think you want Christopher Lambert playing Zosh.
No, that's not quite the look.
Yeah, it's just a little off. But yeah, I know that one's a little bit of a difficult question, but I can already see like Silver Empire kind of like being its own movie, kind of like its own redemption arc. Like I don't know, I could see that being a lot of fun personally. Maybe it's just me. I hope it's not just me. I think it would be a very fun movie series.
Yeah, I think I'd probably pick like animated movie series or animated show if I had the choice, just because I think it would fit animation a lot better than live action.
That is true.
But I mean,
Let's try this. If Silver Empire could be an anime, what studio would you want animating it?
um, hmm. I feel like the obvious answer is like Mappa or um, I don't know. What's the studio that does Freerun?
I'm trying to think of the studio name. Let me look it up real quick.
Uh,
I don't know honestly. Let's
Actually,
see.
I kind of like the way that the Freerun action scenes that they do. There aren't a lot of action. There's like a lot of like chill in Freerun, but when they do the action, I really like the way that they do it. Like, there isn't a lot of like the usual anime tricks to kind of hide and not have to like animate every single thing when like action's going crazy. But in Freerun, they don't do much of that, and you actually they show lots of the action, and it makes it feel a lot more like impactful when you have like characters like hitting each other or like deflecting attacks and stuff.
I honestly didn't realize who it was that did the animation. Apparently it's Studio Madhouse that did it.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah,
thinking of I was thinking Ufotable, but I guess that's wrong.
that's actually kind of surprising. Like Studio Madhouse, they've done a lot of stuff. This is something that they I wouldn't say is outside of their forte, but it's not something they normally animate. They've usually done very like I guess you could say like very action heavy anime. So them doing Freerun, yeah, that they're really going for the more subdued style. But it makes sense. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
real good choice.
Now that I'm thinking about it, Ufotable would be great too. Like, I like the action they do in Demon Slayer.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
I love the animation in Demon Slayer. It's super
I think
smooth.
that would translate really well to Silver Empire.
Would you have any 3D animation as part of that, or not? I'm keeping that as an open question because Demon Slayer does it pretty well.
Um, yeah, I mean, I could see like maybe for like the dragons or something
Oh
when they
yeah,
do that.
yeah, definitely.
Whether there are dragons in the series.
Yeah, slight spoiler alert: there might be dragons. I like dragons.
Yeah, dragons are teased in book one in like chapter one. So
Yeah, they were there all along. All right. So we're pretty much in the middle of kind of like closing this out, but I have one final question for you. Chad, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask them now. If What would you say is one piece of writing advice that you would give your younger self whenever you were just starting out?
um, hmm. Trying to think of what if there's advice I could give that would have help me improve faster. I don't know.
It's always the strangest lessons that end up being the most impactful. That's usually what I found. Yeah. In fairness,
Yeah.
I'm not
Maybe I
even.
mean,
Go ahead.
probably what I would tell myself is like uh you just got to write a lot more. Cuz like when I was first starting out, I mean I was writing obviously, but I would um like I would write a story like one third of a book maybe. And I would either like maybe try to like change it a little bit or edit it a little bit and like kind of do that for a few months, and essentially like doing that is just a waste of time. Like I wasn't actually like getting really any better. I should So what I should have done was either, well, I would definitely say write complete your stories, um but then also don't worry much about like trying to like edit them or make them super polished. Like you just need to write more stories because you're gonna improve the fastest that way. Because I think I definitely wasted kind of a big chunk of time, not really sure like how I should be spending my time, basically.
I don't know if this has just happened with me, but do you ever kind of get to the end of a first draft and you're like, I'm afraid to look at this. This is probably just bad. Like, have you ever come across that before?
Yeah, I felt like that. Pretty much is always not completely true. Like there's definitely, you feel like that and then you go back and you definitely do have some pretty rough writing, but then you also have a lot of like pretty good writing too mixed in. So it's like I think I try not to pay attention much to how I feel because how I feel doesn't really seem to have a strong correlation to the actual like objective writing that I did. How I feel has more to do with just how I'm feeling.
Yeah. No, that's completely fair. Yeah, and just the idea of just writing more and completing your stories. I mean, it's simple advice, but that's the thing. Like, it's way easier to, I guess you could say, to edit something that's already down on paper versus having nothing there.
Yeah, well, I think especially for me, like what I needed to just write a full book at all just to kind of understand what it takes to write a full book, because I was like writing like you know 5 or 10, 15 chapters of a book and then stopping, and like that doesn't really, if you've never written a book before, that doesn't really give you an idea of actually what it's like to like finish a book, like write a whole book through. And so I think if I had been writing full books through from the beginning, I would probably have gotten gotten a lot better a lot quicker than I did. So
Yeah, I can completely relate. So, how would how did you feel after the end of this last book? Did you did you feel like you were pretty excited and ready to go ahead and start into the next one? It sounds like, especially with you getting into um like this next project. I'm sorry, the name is slipping my mind. I know you just said it, but it still sounds like you're getting right into the next project.
um yeah, I was excited. I think I'm kind of excited just because with this one I'm trying something different, which is that I'm going to be uh posting it up on Royal Road, so like chapter by chapter because it's a serialized website. Um So it's going to be kind of like a different thing than what I've done before. So it's kind of a new thing, and new things are always a little bit exciting. So
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Royal Roads. I know a couple authors have been using it in the past, and it sounds like they've been getting good traction with it.
yeah, yeah. If you have the right genre, you can find quite a few readers on it. If you don't have the right genre, it's gonna be a lot tougher on there. Um, but yeah, if you're writing like lit RPG or progression or cultivation style stories, then there's definitely a lot of readers on there who are looking for good stories to read. So great place to find readers if you're writing kind of in that niche.
Yeah, I mean, speaking honestly, I may have to look into it myself. I don't necessarily write progression, but even so, like, sounds like a great place to kind of like get your writing out there, and like
Yeah,
that.
I mean it's free. It doesn't hurt. I don't think it would hurt. The worst that could happen is you have zero readers, which is what you would all have if you hadn't put it on there.
Right, right. It's a similar concept to the idea of not having a finished draft. I mean, what
But
what isn't on the paper? I mean, it's worse than even if it's a rough draft. Like you still got it on the paper.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think what's his name? Isaac Young. Pretty sure he has his book on there, and his book is not lit RPG or progression fantasy, and he's got like something like 300-400 followers. Um, so you can still get readers even if you aren't writing exactly what's like the hot thing on there, but it just probably won't be as popular.
yeah, and
I think
his
another thing that the readers really want is they want long stories, because the types of readers who read on Royal Road are like a crazy binge, like they will read so much, like they read an insane amount. And so they don't want, you know, a story with 5 chapters. They want a story with, 500 chapters.
yeah. I mean, and to go back to your earlier point, Isaac Young, he's writing what is it, grimdark sci-fi? Is that right? And that's on Royal
Yeah.
Roads. Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's like even if you're not writing progression, like if you're a writer and you want to get noticed, Royal Road sounds like a solid, viable option.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, I think too that if you're like an author and you haven't written like lit RPG or progression, you could always like if you have a story idea for that is like that's lit RPG or progression fantasy, you could always try it out and put it on there. And you're not really committing to anything because it's just a free story. So if you decide that you hate writing lit RPG, um, you could just stop, and no harm really, other than a little bit of, I guess, time and effort.
No harm, no foul. Yeah,
Yep.
but absolutely. Wrangler also asks in the chat, what's progression? So I guess by progression you mean kind of like progression as in like the powering up sense, like getting
Yeah.
stronger.
That Yeah, it's a little bit hard to define, but basically like a progression fantasy, or it could be progression sci-fi, but progression like story, it has as the core of the plot is about kind of that getting stronger. So like there are a lot of like normal fantasy where characters progress in the sense of like they start out, not very strong, and by the end of the series they're stronger, but the story itself usually is about like a lot of other things other than just the getting stronger. And progression fantasy, for the most part, the kind of everything kind of revolves around that getting stronger. So usually the plots will be the character, they they want something for themselves or for someone else, and in order to do that, they need to like get super strong. And so the story's all about like getting stronger, and there's like generally the way the plots work out is like you're kind of constantly being drip fed like little bits of progression. So they're getting little bits of like a new power, or like they're getting a little bit stronger, every couple chapters or stuff like that. So it's like that constant dopamine of like powering up. That's
Yeah,
kind of like what progression fantasy stories are.
it's the I leveled up feeling, but put into a book that's fun to read.
Yeah. Yep. And
Wrangler.
then lit RPG, pretty much all lit RPGs are progression fantasy. They just are like a kind of sub genre where you have literal stats.
Yep.
So, you know, usually it's like some of them are like the setup is that it's like you're in a VR, literal like VR game, and so that's why there you have stats. Some of them are like you get isekai to this other world where everyone has stats.
Or your Sword
And so
Art
they
Online, and you have both.
yeah. So it's like whatever kind of like justification the author comes up with, but they always pretty much just it's always pretty much the same thing where you just have stats.
Also, Wrangler says,
Um,
"Oh, I think I might could handle that one." I don't know if you're familiar,
yeah,
Timo, but Wrangler's a little obsessed with Metroidvanias. So I think what you just said really struck a chord with him.
yeah, yeah. There's definitely some progression fantasy that kind of feels Metroidvania-y. But yeah, I mean Metroidvanias. Most games in general are kind of like structured the same way like a progression fantasy story would be, where you start off kind of at the beginning, you don't have any of your abilities, you have like the weakest weapon, and then you play through the levels and you level up, you get better weapons, you get new like combos or new attacks or whatever. That's essentially the same structure. You just take it and you put it in prose form.
Lit Metroidvania. Wrangler's cracking me up.
Metroidvania,
Yeah,
new
honestly,
subgenre invented.
yeah, new subgenre invented, honestly. uh, but let's see. Yeah, and I think with that, so Timo, tell all the good people where they can find you, where they can check out your books.
My books are on Amazon. You just search. I think if you search Silver Empire Series, you'll find them. It might not be the first thing that pops up. If you search for the title Dawn of the Black Sun or Destiny's End, you should see them pretty quick.
Yeah, I know as for me, whenever I get on Amazon, I'm searching for your books. I'll type in either Dawn of the Black Sun or just Timo Burnham. It usually brings
Yeah,
up your books in a flash.
yeah, yeah. I think probably if you search Timo Burnham books, you should definitely find them.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, and thanks a lot for joining me tonight, Timo. And I'm really excited that your latest book, Destiny's End, is now out. I am planning on reading a hell of a lot more of it now, especially over the weekend. And yeah, I'm curious about that scene you talked about that you would say kind of like it embodies the series the most. I'm like right there where you said it's a bit spoilery. I'm like, my curiosity is now properly piqued. I'm like, I need to get to that scene now, to say the least. Um, but yeah, thanks for joining us, Timo. And do you have anything else for the kind people before we go ahead and take a brief break?
Nope, nope, nothing else.
All right, cool. All right, everybody, stick with us. Uh, After the break, I'm going to be coming back on here to play some more Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. But in the meantime, thank you all for joining us for this wonderful interview, and we'll be right back.
Bye.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Need to do a couple things here first before we get into Sekiro. I'm going to quickly change out the stream. Yeah, that was a really fun interview, honestly. I got to say, like, I've been following Timo's books for a while now, so I've really been wanting to have a nice chat with him. So yeah, it was definitely insightful, to say the least. We'll change our game over here to Sekiro very quickly. There we are. Go ahead and update that for Twitch. Beautiful. All right, now we can go ahead and open up our Steam library and get Sekiro set up. I don't know about you, but after talking about martial arts all this time, I kind of want to check out some martial arts games. Maybe die a little bit. Hopefully that won't be too bad. But you never know. Oh, one last thing. I'm going to have to change my volume back. There we go. Beautiful. Well, there we go. Okay. How does the audio sound to you guys? I just want to be sure. It's been a while since I played any of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Man, feels good to be a samurai again. Might as well call myself Zosh at this point. All right, let's get back into it. Go and continue. Oh. Yeah, hopefully we won't die so many times to the point where we are getting more of our friends dying around us. I really hope that's not the case. Oh, I forgot. This is where I left off. So I can commune. Do I want to do that? It's not really much for me to do, honestly. Think I'm okay? I just don't want to alert them. So we'll be very careful. Was this where somebody died? Take a look at it. Hello, sir? Where are you going? Oh, he just stood there. So I think we have to go back up to the palace. I mean, it's been a little while since we played this game, so I think that's where we gotta go. And I can grapple my way on up. There we are. We'll be very careful for any goons. Hopefully there's none around. I think over here we're doing okay. It's just back up close to the palace. There's those monkeys and we got to be very careful around them. And yeah, this has got to be where somebody died. Oh, it's Story. Oh. Back to the top of Ashina Castle. Okay, so yeah, we gotta go up to Ashina Castle. So do we gotta keep an eye out for the whistle? Oh, there's like several guys up here. I don't like this, okay? Oh, there's like a boss, isn't there? Look at how many there are. Let's hop up. Oh. Now, we got to be extra careful because there's monkeys around. I don't want to alert the monkey. Where are these monkeys? Oh. He's like almost spotted me. He's like suspicious of me. And I don't like that. So we have all these buildings, but we know there's monkeys up there. It's just, where are they? I'm like scared to go anywhere huge. So we'll be extra careful? Maybe. Oh, that's not gonna work. Or a place we can grapple up. I guess we gotta go over there. Let's try it. Oh! Oh my god. How did I not die there? I will never... Oh! I will never know. Get up. There we go. Can you guys tell I'm a little rusty? Just a little bit. Oh, there's the monkey. I see him. Be very careful. The monkeys might spot us. That's one. We just got to keep a sharp eye out. Yeah, so we got that high before. It's just, there's a lot of these guys, like, patrolling the place. Making our lives really difficult, I must say. I forget, can I double jump? No, I can't. Well, that's no fun. So maybe... grapple over to this roof. And can we go up? Maybe. Maybe. Or... oh, is that a monkey? No, that's a fish. Give me more fish. And I will gladly help you. No! No! How did I get spotted? No! Oh, he hit me right while I was in midair, too. No! Oh, shoot! Shoot! I'm still alive! No! 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 Game! No! Oh. There we go. Give me my healing item. There we are. Where is this guy? Oh, I see him. He, like, spotted me from the worst angle. I see him. Let's get him. Right through the heart. Boy. Oh, we got him. What do I hold? No. I forget what I have to hold for, like, the... let's see here. How do I get the gold? I'm trying to remember what I need to do. Let's see. Oh, I just gotta hold X. Oh, I'm not even getting, like, the loot? Come on. Come on, game. Come on. Alright, let's see. At the very least... oh, there's more. There's more of these guys. Alright. Oh my god. There's like 3 of them just ready to destroy me. Come on, game. Just why? Alright, I guess I'm gonna die because it's like, they're gonna be right on me. Either way. Just another hard life. Hard lesson in life. I mean, we didn't lose that much progress. Just hopefully people aren't dying around us. Hopefully not. Let's see. Can we climb up, maybe? We're just gonna have to be careful again. So there's that guy. Let's see. We'll jump up. Don't worry, you won't find me. There's so many people who've died here. Hmm. Oh my god, there's so many guys right over there. Maybe I can... Oh. Is there another way I can go? Yeah. Oh. No! The camera decided to glitch out. No! Oh. You didn't see anything, hopefully. Camera just spun me right around. Game, I did not appreciate that. Now they're suspicious. Alright, we'll be extra careful. Alright, we're up. Good. Now let's just avoid the monkeys. And I think we'll be okay. I do not like those monkeys. They're like all over the roof too. Just makes our life really difficult. But how do we want to get up? That's the real question. I mean, we could try and drop down. Oh, they're all facing... No, they're not facing away. They're the doors. Oh. Is there anything down here? It looks like there might actually be something useful down here. What are we picking up? Amiibo Balloon of Wealth. Interesting. One pops the golden Amiibo balloon and prays. Those its water splashes upon will acquire more coin for a period of time. Oh. Oh, okay. Cool. I don't know if that was worth it, but it's something at the very least. Oh my god. The monkey saw me. He saw me, like, so quickly, too. Come on. That's right, monkey. You saw nothing. I just jumped up and he was right there. Oh. Can I go farther down, maybe? It's an idea. We might actually have to go a little lower. Is this guy okay? Hello? Oh. Okay. So he's not an enemy. I'll take it. Yeah. I'm totally the good guy here. Please don't mean the monkeys. Oh yeah. I wonder what you were about to say there. You know? Stick up their ass? Maybe. Well, this does seem like a more viable way than, like, way up above and having to deal with the monkeys. We just gotta watch out. Oh. Where are you headed, sir? Oh no, we've got dog enemies. That is not what I want to have to deal with. Oh boy. It has been such a long time since I had played this game. Oh no. They all spotted me all at once. Oh, we got him. I hate dogs in FromSoft games. They are the worst. Alright, we got him. And that guy just shaved off half my health. Oh no. Oh my god. I hate dogs in FromSoft games. They are the worst. Oh, we got him. Take that. Did this guy not notice? He's like, ah, whatever. Just another day. Take that. I am surprised he did not notice me in the slightest. That was surprisingly rough. Then there's both of these guys. I'll have to be extra quiet. Oh my god. Are you guys even going? Oh! Alright, that's one down. Oh, take that. That's another one. Oh, we got a ceramic shard. I have no idea what that does. Oh, okay. So it's to distract them. Oh, and there's another one right there. Is there any way I can, like, go around them? Doesn't look like it. Oh, well, I guess I'm drawing his attention. Excuse me. These guys are here. All right. Stop that. Right through the heart. Ah! Oh no, it's the monkeys. Oh no, they have like dead-eye aim too. Monkey, I will not stand for this. He's like looking right there too. Oh. Yeah, that's right. Look elsewhere, monkey. This is not your battle. My god, he's still looking in my direction. Oh, we found a fistful of ash. Oh, and he is looking right there too, isn't he? Oh my god! Hi. Oh, he's poisoning me. No! Oh no! I'm dead. He broke my back. Oh, this place is a dead end too. Fine, I guess I'll die. We'll go back. Why not? Man, come on. Alright, somehow I'm gonna have to get past these monkeys. They're just not giving me an easy time. Alright. Back to Ashina Castle. Let's not get destroyed this time. Hopefully. So no matter what, we gotta pretty much make our way up here. Get into the castle. Let's just avoid that one monkey because he may very well see us. Like that. Hey, monkey. You want to try and, like, not do that? Oh, no. I hate these monkeys. Excuse me, I'm gonna get up here. Over here. So no one can notice me. That monkey is really annoying. We're gonna have to be extra careful. There's the one. At the very least, we know where he is. I've got like tons of ceramic shards. Oh fuck. The monkey's back. Oh my god. What is that attack? I hate this monkey so much. Oh, it's not even a monkey, it's just a dude. But he's like a, he's like moving around like a monkey would. Maybe we can try and avoid the palace. Maybe that's not a bad choice. I wonder if there's another way around. Because there's like 3 of the dudes. The more you go in from like straight ahead. So maybe we can like work our way around. Yeah, there's that guy right there. Oh, and there's another right here. We got him. That's one down. These guys are like tough, honestly. That's right, that's right. Don't look over here. We can easily avoid you. Well, that's one we don't have to worry about. That's just, man, they're like looking right there. So maybe we can drop down where he can't see us quite as much. There's that ledge, but it's gonna alert like 2 of them straight away. Oh. Fine. Let's do it. Alright, we've got our healing. Why isn't... Oh my god, there's so many of them. I hate these monkeys so much. Oh my god. Oh. Alright, fuck you. Hey, we got one. Oh, that's another one. Think that. We'll get him. We got him. Somehow we survived that. Oh my god. We'll use our last healing gourd. That was rough, to say the least. It was like 4 of them, all in one spot. At the very least, we made it through. Good lord. Alright. So where do we want to go next? Please don't be any more monkeys. Well, I keep saying monkeys, but they're not monkeys. There's one. There's a guy. It's just how their whole, like, get-up and everything, how they're perched. It just looks like a monkey. No. Let me hang. Then we sneak. Oh, and there's another one too. My god. These guys are the worst. Oh, and he can notice me too. Oh my god, there's so many of them. Maybe that'll work? I don't know. Oh, and there's a guy there, too. How did I get myself into this situation? Here I thought I was in the clear, but no, there's like 4 more of the bastards. Oh. And I can't get off either. Oh, come on, game. Why? Why do you do this to me? Yeah, they are guarding this place super well. Fine. I guess I'm going through here. You won't notice me. You won't notice me. Because we are being very, very quiet. We are not hunting wabbits, we are avoiding wabbits. Oh! I see you there. Let's get away from his line of sight. He's turned around. Very good. We got another ceramic shard. And another one of these guys. Oh, fuck. What the? I have no idea what happened. I literally have no idea what happened. I am this close to dying and somehow I'm alive. I think he just blew himself up. There's like a lot of water too. Or we can go around. Oh. Grapple point. And a shrine. There we go. Yes. Give us the shrine. Oh my god. That is a godsend. Just in time. We were this close to dying again. Oh, we got a fistful of ash. There we are. I'll take that. And a chest. What's in the chest? A gourd seed. Oh. Yeah. Oh yeah, we want this. Fuck yeah. Alright, I guess we're going back then. Back to the dilapidated temple. Let's get more gourd uses. Hey, you. I want more healing stuff. Can you help me? Oh, really? Can we find him? Yeah, we had to avoid all the guys that were hanging out using their monkey style. I actually thought it was like monkeys for a second, but no. Can you give me healing? Yes. Yes. Oh my god. I will gladly take this, thank you. Is there anyone else we can talk to over this way? Who's this guy again? You may use me to hone your swordsmanship if you like. I'm actually pretty good. Undying Samurai Training Mikiri encounter. Oh, what is that? Let's try it. So what have we got to do? Shinobi can perceive incoming thrust attacks and counter them by stepping on the enemy blade. Oh, risky move that deals more posture damage than a regular deflect. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. We got him. Take that. We got it. How many times do you want to get stabbed? There we go. Alright, now we know how to use that ability, so I'll definitely take that. Yeah. Thank you for the dodge move, though. Or the special parry. I'll take it. Nothing in the offering box. Alright, we're heading back. Back to the idol. Yep. Let's go Ashna Castle into the antechamber. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Now we just got to go back into stealth mode. Avoid anyone who might be around. Oh, there is a dude around. Where are you going? Well, you're not going anywhere anymore. I tell you what. I tell you what. Now, who's behind the door? More dudes? Oh, there is. Oh, there's a couple of them. All right, let's be extra sneaky. That guy's going that direction, so I think we'll be okay. It's just... Where did the other guy go? Oh my god, there's like 3 of them, I think. Or at least a couple. What's this person doing? Just slowly walking. There's the one guy. He's making like a big circuit around the place. Oh, I think there's only 2 of them. We can probably take them. I'll just be extra careful. We can probably get him as he's like coming back around. Yeah, just like that. And strike. The other person didn't even notice me. Excuse me. Take that. I hope these people were evil. Otherwise, I might have done something pretty naughty. Anybody around the corner? There's one dude. Who's looking pretty killable. Take that. Give me your money. And pellets. Thank you. Right, who's back here? A couple of people, I think. There's like one person at the very least. Ow! Oh my god. I immediately died. Well, excuse me. Take that. I see. So these enemies are supposed to teach you the Mikiri dodge. Widely used for basic reinforcement. Base material for prosthetic upgrades. Very cool. I'll take that. Give me all that good shit. Oh, and we got Akko Sugar. It gives us more attack power. I'll take that. Anything else in this room? Oh, we can grapple up. Where does it go? Hidden area? That's what it looks like. Oh, and we got more sugar. Oh. Oh, this is one of those that gives you assassins. I see. All right, let's keep going. Be mighty careful. There's a couple of them. Oh, there's a few of them. I'll have to be very careful then. How many of them did I piss off? Oh my god, there's more. There's a lot more. Oh my god, that's a lot of them. Oh no. That was way too many. Yeah, I was very easily outnumbered. Oh my god. Okay. I guess we're being a little more stealthy then. Good god. That's right. We're taking you down. And then there's this guy again. There are more of them. Oh, he goes into that back room. I see. Well, don't mind me then. Oh, somebody noticed. That's not good. Somebody noticed. It's another one down. Another one bites the dust. Hey, you. Give me all your money. So we can avoid those guys. I'm not sure how much of an advantage we actually get. Because it's like, there's a lot of them either way. Oh? This might be helpful. Yeah, let's hop over. Does that give us any advantage? Oh, there's a lot more of them down there. Can we... Oh, no. Can we not go back? Are we stuck here? Did the game, like, trick me or something? Oh, I don't want to try and, like... It's not a good idea. So we can grapple up here. But it's like there's no easy way to get down. Or to get up. Oh no. We might have just accidentally killed ourselves already. Maybe we can hop over on the... Nope. Nope. Get back up. There you go. No! He really wants to hang off that side. Well, fine then. So what if we drop down? Well, the advantage is we don't immediately die. Ow. Oh my god, he does a lot of damage. That's another one. Get ourselves some healing. Oh my god, oh my god. Take that. They didn't notice me dying. Great. Now they can immediately see me again. Can I not make it up there? Game. The very moment I thought I could cheese this, you take my fun away. The very moment I thought I could cheese this. Well, fine. Hi. Oh, come on. I hate this guy. Oh my god. Oh no. That one guy is just, oh my lord. He is super annoying. Good lord. Alright, and with that, I actually think that might be where we leave it off for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We've had our fun, and we've had our fun little interview with Sir Timo Burnham. I don't think we're going to be getting much farther into Sekiro tonight. So with that, I would like to bid you all a wonderful night, and God bless, friends. Good night, and have a wonderful weekend.